Hey, everybody. How is it going tonight? Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you, guys. Blitzkrieg, thank you so much for being in here as well. Starting off the night, thank you, guys. Once again, this is not a rip and ship. This is just our discussion night. So thank you, guys, everybody that's joining in. As always, greatly appreciated. So tonight, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about what's going on in Pokemon TCG. So allocation numbers are just coming out here this week. I think most people are getting them. And, of course, the videos are kind of showing that when you sit there and look at it. Once again, I don't want to say short print because I think that might be a falsification. We won't know until we see what like MJ Holding gets, what we see at Walmart, what we see at other locations, booster boxes. I'm only getting one of two booster boxes this time. I've been getting two consistently, which is dumb. That's only two to begin with. Not two cases, only two booster boxes. But it sounds like right now my allocation is going to be one. They're talking about 6 ETBs. It sounds like I'm going to get half of a case of sleeve blisters again. And once again, we are seeing some reductions on some other products as well. 3-pack blisters, all that kind of stuff is also going to be reduced for the next set coming forward. Now, am I going to say short print? No, I will not say short print, but I think it's something to be watching. And once again, we won't know anything short print. You can't say it's short printed on the first release anyways, because the fact of the matter is that we could have a small print on the first wave, and we might get a second wave, which is a monster wave, and it could be more product than what we've seen before, and then the set is no longer short printed. But I will say that the allocations are down on this print, and I'm seeing that kind of across the board with a lot of individuals. I'm also seeing, of course, places without distribution screaming that we are short printed, but as anybody, and the people that don't even have allocations is another way of looking at it too, don't have distribution claiming short print right now. I'm seeing some of those videos as well, and it's kind of irritating in a way, because if you don't have distribution, you probably shouldn't be talking about it to begin with. But the fact is that we are going to be down in allocations. They're down right now for Phantasmal Flames, just so everybody is aware. We don't know how far down, or if this is going to be just a first wave, if they're doing a wave system again and just haven't announced the second wave at this point in time. Kind of, allocations are pretty much the exact same as my first wave of Mega Evolution. So Phantasmal Flames looking very, very close to my first wave, except for I've got ETBs on the first coming up as well. So we don't know for sure if we're going to see a wave system again on the second round of products, or is this going, or on the second set, or is it going to be one of those things that's just going to take time? I mean, is it just going to take time to get that second wave, or are we just going to be short printed on the set? I don't know. Time will tell for sure. We don't know for sure where everything's going. I don't want to put the alarms out there for anybody right now, but I definitely think it's something that we should be aware of and watch. As the progression of the set goes on. I think that a lot of the printing went to the allocations for like the Charizard, that Charizard X UPC. We've got a lot of UPCs. We've got the Moltres UPC coming as well. We've got a lot of products coming for the holiday season at this point in time, and right now with there being all this product coming for the holiday season, printer allocations may be going there instead of Phantasmal Forces. That's another theory that could be out there as well, is that right now we're getting a short print or a reduced print on that first wave, and then there'll be another wave here right after, kind of like we're seeing with Mega Evolutions coming up here at the end of the month here. We should be seeing more product coming from Mega Evolutions. Most of us got 60% of our allocations. Some of us got some of the product and not all the product on our first allocation. So for like myself, got my sleeve blister allocation, or sleeve booster packet allocation. I got one of my booster boxes. I got one of the mini tin boxes. I normally get two, and but I did not get any ETBs. So my ETBs were held on my first allocation. Now, talking to the distributor, I should be seeing them on my second allocation. So we should be seeing those products come through yet at this point in time. But there again, split up in the waves. We're seeing it split up into the printing facilities are breaking things down, sending it on different proportions and different waves, 60% up front, 40% here at the end of the month, so I'll get the rest of my allocations at the end of the month. It's not huge allocations. I wish I could get better news for anybody that does follow us or is part of the Rip and Chips, but we still are not seeing good allocation numbers at this point in time, and it doesn't look like it's going to improve here in Phantasmal Flames. So we don't know for sure. I'm not going to say it's short printed. Like I said, you can't really call a set short printed before it's released. We don't know for sure. Plus, I might be getting less, other people might be getting less, someone might be getting more. We don't know. Once again, it depends on how you played the game. I don't buy bundles. I bought one set of bundles when I needed some Ultra Pro products. I bought $500 worth of Ultra Pro products one time to get a benefit of getting some extra product. That's how you work with distribution now. A lot of people don't understand that is that you start buying worthless stuff and hope that you can buy these bundles so that you can get more allocation or more products. So if I want booster boxes, so like I wanted a case of booster boxes of Surging Sparks, I bought $500 of Ultra Pro. I knew I would use the Ultra Pro up and knew that that was something that I could use. So not a big deal. It's going to give me like a year's supply of sleeves and bags and things and stuff, or top loaders and things like that I need. But I do use quite a bit of them, so it gave me an opportunity to that, and I bought a binder for my son, and a couple other people wanted some binders, so I bought those for them as well with that Ultra Pro order. But there again, had to buy $500 in Ultra Pro in order to be able to get that. The other way I can do it too is sometimes I can do Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield products through one of my distribution will give me a bundle. I got to buy $500 worth of $250 to $500 in Dragon Shield, and I can get more ETBs. So these are the games that we got to play right now, but I don't feel like I've done anything differently. I did do that order back about a month ago or 2 months ago when Surging Sparks came out. I bought the bundle to try and get some numbers. It improved on Mega Evolution, or on not Mega Evolutions, on Black and White. I got more allocation, and on Destin's Rivals, I got more allocation for those two sets. But here we are going into Phantasmal Flames, and once again, we're seeing a drop in the allocations. Now, short print, I think it's wrong place to be using that particular wordage. I think that there's different vocabulary that you should be using. Maybe a little bit low on the print run. We'll see where it goes if there's more waves. All of those things are things to take into consideration while we're looking forward into the set. Pokey is in the same boat. I haven't even seen his video, but I've seen other people talking about it as well. I've seen some people on TikTok also talking about it over there. So X Collects is another place that I follow over there. They're a fairly good sized online retailer on TikTok side of things that have a very big shop. And X Collects is another a big proponent to Pokemon over there. And their allocations, they said, is about 60%. They're down about 40% as well. So it sounds like across the board right now, our allocations are going to be very similar to the first round of Mega Evolutions rather than with the second wave coming of Mega Evolutions. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that there's another wave coming of Phantasmal Flames too, that we'll hear the exact same thing that we did with Mega Evolutions, that, hey, we're sorry, we didn't let you know that there's going to be more allocation coming later. Right now, it sounds like it's pretty much across the board, so it sounds like Pokey is doing the exact same thing. I haven't seen his video. I don't know where he's at right now for allocation. I just know that there's quite a few content creators right now and bigger shops, bigger areas in the TikTok community that we're seeing the same problem coming through, is that allocations are going to be down. Which kind of sucks for such a high anticipated set for a Charizard set. Really, we're hoping for some bigger allocations, or at least equal to, if not better than Mega Evolutions, giving some of these stores a little bit more of a benefit. But once again, maybe it's the fact that bigger content creators that have bigger streams are pushing their distributors to get them more product, and so they're starting to redistribute it to the people that are high dollar status too. That's something that we don't always take into consideration, is that distribution will most of the time, not always, but will most of the time, favor the bigger accounts first. So if Phantasmal Flames is a very popular set, people think that it's going to be a fantastic price, they'll put bigger allocations into them, and with bigger dollar amounts that they're spending, compared to me, who's normally spending an equivalent of like $1,000 a week at my distribution, that's $52,000, and when it's set releases and stuff like that, I'll bump it up. I'm doing about $80,000 to $90,000 a year through my distribution, compared to someone who's putting $10, $20, $30 million a year in there. That's definitely something. I don't know why Team Rocket Joey just got spammed. Oh, he used caps. So yes, it is. Short printing is not a thing. I don't want to put that out there, but we are seeing a reduction in allocations here in this first round. And it could just be going to other sources. We don't know that. We don't know where distribution's breaking that down. I talked to my rep on Monday after I got my allocations here, and I really haven't gotten a good response on why our allocations are so low. So just so you guys are aware right now where we are currently on that, I just want to keep everybody in the loop that there might be some crazy things going, but just keep a cool head about it. I think that there's still going to be time, especially with the first couple sets in the era here going into these mega sets. Definitely going to be some drive, especially with the Charizard set. They are printing Charizard X UPCs. That could be a big factor to it. Yeah, it's just interesting out there, and it's not just me. It sounds like I said, Pokemon coming in here. I'm guessing he must have the same situation. X Collects over in TikTok's having the same thing. A couple other content creators over there that are medium-sized or shops are also having the exact same problems and things coming through. And that's definitely something that's going to be a factor for the overall performance in this set. I'm just concerned that trying to think of how it's going to work, how the market's going to handle this situation. If anything, I hope big box stores at least get some more product compared to what they've been getting. That way, possibly it gets out to the big box stores and gets out to those individuals. But I don't even think that that's working now, because I see a lot of local shops now showing up at the drops and grabbing products. So they need product, and if the market's going to allow them, they're going to. And that's something we talked about would happen as well. It's not a good situation. But if it comes down to the fact of keeping your doors open, and you know that you can buy something from Walmart at MSRP and then put $3-4 on it, and it's going to sell out of your shop in no time flat, then store owners are going to start resorting to that. So at some point here, Pokemon's got to start getting some more product, and it's not just Pokemon. Once again, we are talking about Pokemon. That's what this channel is driven on. But it's not just Pokemon. It's a lot of TCGs having the exact same issue over and over and over again with different portions of their TCG. So, yes, there are definitely some situations that are going to continue to arise. Store owners are getting desperate, are starting to shift and do things that are not what they would want to do. Let's be 100% honest. If you talk to them right now, they would absolutely tell you that they do not want to go that way, that that's not something that they want to do. But when it comes down to them being able to do that and have their doors open, get money through, it's definitely going to be a problem for them as well. And they're going to resort to tactics that are no better than a scalper at the end of the day. But it's the market that Pokemon's creating at this point in time. Team Rocket Joy just says, I think Pokemon is just slowing down printing. I think they allocated half of their printers to Magic and Panini. I think you're right. I think that they're allocating to other places, which is why I think that they started to sub out their printing. I don't think that they've gone to Magic, but I know Panini is one of them that they are doing right now, and we've seen that. We know that with the Aero prints that they are printing sports cards at the Millennial Printing Facility. The question is if that's under contract, and that's why they haven't changed, and why they're allocating their sources outside. I still think, based on what I'm seeing at this time, Team Rocket Joy and I talked about it that one night, I definitely think that Mega Evolutions was printed outside of Millennial Print Group. It's different. The printing is different on it. The cards are better. You know, you look through and you actually look at the quality of the print. So I was kind of looking at even the commons and stuff like that. The print quality is a lot better. It's done, you know, there's not the marks on the corners and stuff. So, like, normally on the Millennial Print Group stuff, you know, I could pull this one right here, which I know was done by them. And the corners are marred. There's always sometimes rolled on especially on the common cards, there's always, like, edge issues. And I could pull Journey Together, Destin's Rivals, Black and White. They all look the same. You can tell that they're using the exact same cutter over and over and over again. They've changed. Mega Evolutions is different. It's a different cut quality. It's a different print quality. The quality has gone up. So, once again, we are seeing something changed in Mega Evolutions. Whether they sharpened their cutters before they did Mega Evolutions, I have no idea. But I honestly think that it was actually printed externally. I think that this is an external print. It was not printed inside of Millennial Print Group. I think Millennial Print Group's under contract for baseball cards, sports cards right now. They can't take on any more allocation, so they're kicking it out in order to be able to increase the amount of production that they're getting. But that also raises new problems that they can only take so much as well. And also, when you're working with external companies, you're dealing with changes and keeping that quality and consistency in the product. So Mega Evolutions will probably stay with that print group as long as they continue to reprint that. That's what we've historically seen. Kind of like past Sword and Shield, you could tell that they were different print groups because the packs had different marks on them. The quality was different. So if you go back, some of them had like a wax, like a mark on the packs, and some didn't. You knew which print group or which printing company was doing it back then, just based on the quality of the card. So you could tell this set was done by this group, this set was done by this group. that's something that we definitely saw happen back then. I think it's something that we may be seeing again here moving forward. So just keep that in mind. There's some things shifting in the Pokemon TCG as well. They seem like they are definitely doing some really weird things with the printing right now. Could be a different print group again. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see the cards that come out of the Phantasmal Flames. That'll really tell us if it's a different print group or if it's going to be Millennial Print Group printing that one. And overall, there's just new things that are continually changing when it comes down to the quality right now of these cards as well. So we'll continue to watch and see what happens. But once again, going back on topic, is Phantasmal Flames officially short printed? No, I wouldn't say that it is short printed in any way, shape, or form. I think that the allocation right now up front, the allocation is going to be low right now. Could we see another reprint? I think we definitely could, especially if a Charizard set, and if this demand, it definitely could be a factor when it comes down to this. James, I was just going to talk about that too. So as you know, there's been a lot of things going on right now with drops. Target, Walmart have been doing a lot of drops. The Target Plus, you pay for the Target Plus when you're coming from to it. I'm going to cancel my Target or Walmart Plus, sorry. It's worthless. Even when you get into the shopping cart, you can't purchase anything because it sells out before you get an opportunity to. So, to me, I try and get some of the products. I was trying to get some of the things yesterday, and I literally got into 2 of them into the actual point where you could do the shopping cart. And when you go to do it, it would be sold out. So you couldn't get anything. And once again, if you're paying a service to get that benefit, but the bots are still overrunning it like crazy, it completely makes it unjustified to have the subscription service. I don't use Walmart Plus for anything but potentially getting some pre-release or some early access to some of these products. But at the end of the day, it isn't even working for that either. Like I see James from Alamo City with him talking about it. He says the Walmart Plus drops are trash, not worth of paying a membership. The most recent drop was abysmal. They had a limit of 12 for the UPC or Charizard EX UPCs. Ridiculous. They make you pay, put you in a queue, yep, and then they don't give you any. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It doesn't bother me any longer, Blitzkrieg. I just know it's going to happen. You know, you take the chance. You're stupid not to take the chance and put it in the queue to see if maybe things will change and give you an opportunity. But the realistic fact is, I know whenever I join a Walmart queue, I know that I'm probably never going to get the product. I just understand that going into it. I think it's dumb that you pay this service. You pay for a subscription, which is why I'm going to probably drop the subscription here at the end when my next term comes up here, I think in a couple weeks. Because it really isn't paying out in any way. You're fighting bots, and the bots are too fast. They do nothing, even to get into the Walmart Plus. It takes nothing to get into it. And it's really, really easy to get them queues of 12s. And the funny thing is that someone told me that you could actually do it multiple times on the same account. So even though they allow you to check out with 12, it sounds like you can go and purchase multiple times with 12. So kind of like when we were talking about it, that they were going to start putting a limiting on Walmart at the stores. The interesting thing is that they're going to do it at 4, but you can go through and just continue to sit at the self-checkout and continue to go buy 4 packs at a time. So they're not really limiting you. They're just making it inconvenient at that point in time. So yes, they're supposedly doing limitations on things, but the limitations are only as fast as you can check out. And we all know that bots are checking out at just wicked speeds. So if there's 12 apiece and bots are sitting there, they're grabbing hundreds of boxes in the amount of time that you're waiting in the queue to try to get in there. So it's just not really feasible at that point in time to be able to keep up with it. So many bots flying through that one. RBD, welcome on in. I haven't gotten anything from Walmart, but Target hasn't been too bad lately on the bigger drops. Yeah. I've heard people having good success with Target. Today, I think Target had a drop as well, and I've heard some people had some good success at Target. Best Buy is pretty good because they do limit it per account, so you can't go through and do like multiple orders on that, and their queues or their quantities are low as well. So I think some of their products are 2, some of them are 4, but you have to have multiple Best Buy accounts in order to be able to do that, and they do actually go by shipping address as well. So that's another good limitation on Best Buy that if you try. So my wife and I have 2 accounts at Best Buy. We've tried that before. When we had the same address, it would stop one of the orders to the address. It would cancel one of the orders because you had it already going to that address. So Best Buy is doing stuff to try and prevent that. So at the bestbuy.com, if you're going through the website, doesn't allow you to do multiple shipping of Pokemon products to the same address. So I found that out with the 151 booster bundles. I was trying to buy some of those on bestbuy.com. I bought they had a maximum of 4. I bought the 4, went on my wife's account, bought the 4 back then, and it actually kicked it out, and it canceled my wife's order because it was to the same address. So I had to literally change my address. So now on all the accounts, my address is my parents' address, while hers is our address. So that way I can take advantage of some of those products when they do come, if I can get through the bots. Once again, we're not getting through bots. Best Buy, I've gotten through but the bots have been pretty heavy on there as well. All right, so yeah, once again, Phantasmal Flames, guys, take your time. Don't get all caught up in the hype and FOMO short printed. If it's short printed, it's short printed. Then move on. Go buy a booster box. If it's short printed that bad, go buy a booster box and put it on your shelf. It's going to be the next team up in another, 8 years. Look at Team Up or Evolving Skies. If it is short printed to that point, then who cares if you go and buy a booster box for $600, because it's probably going to be a $24,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 booster box within the next 10 years. So then we know that that's something that's going to go forward, but you don't have to rush into it. You can play the game and wait. You can wait and see what happens. There's not a big rush up front because everybody's going to it's going to go so far. So I hear people get all concerned about a booster box going up in price, but the first 2 years, you really have time. You don't have to really rush on it because everybody's in the same exact boat, right? We're all concerned about that massive reprint. We're all concerned that Pokemon's all of a sudden going to hit the go baby go button and reprint one of these sets to disaster. Now, the question is do you go out and buy a booster box? And if you can get an MSRP, I think you're great. I think you're golden regardless at Phantasmal Flames. Right now, any Pokemon TCG product you can get at MSRP for a booster box, you're doing great. That's fantastic. If you allow it to come out, wait a year and a half, and it doesn't get a reprint, chances are it'll be up $500. If it doesn't get a reprint at a year and a half and there's no announcements of reprints at a year and a half, go buy it at $500 and put it away for 10 years. Then you're fine. You don't have to try and catch it because that little bit of opportunity cost, because if you look at it this way, you pay the $500 now in the first 3 months and it gets a massive reprint. And then it goes down to a $100 box. How much opportunity cost did you lose by buying a $500 box now? You could have bought 5 boxes at $100. So the opportunity starts to really, that's why there's a difficulty in Pokemon investment right now, is that we don't have, and it's all speculatory and it's always speculatory, but the fact that Pokemon isn't reprinting, at some point in time they could at any moment kick in those printers, and that's going to completely change the atmosphere and change the perspective of the Pokemon TCG. So we need to be cautious if you're going in for these big investments. Is it sometimes better to weigh out the opportunity costs? Right now, the opportunity costs are definitely weighing in the favor of waiting and see where things go. Now, like base set, Paradox Rift, going into Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, you can go in and buy those now. Yes, you technically are paying more money. You're paying more money for those booster boxes, but on the flip side, you now have security of where a reprint is not going to happen. More 99% sure you're not going to get a reprint at this point in time. You don't have to worry about losing any kind of money. Put the money into them now, and if you sit on them for 4 or 5 years, you're probably going to do extremely well on those booster boxes regardless, because they're going to continue to go up in value because of the fact that we haven't had much print of those particular sets. So, yes, you may not have gotten in at the bottom dollar, but you've put yourself in a secure position to give yourself the best opportunities futuristically without tying up your capital for 2 years of non-growth. Destin's Rivals. I mean, we can pull open Destin's Rivals right now. Let me pull open so I got the current numbers. I mean, we had that big, we're going to the moon because it went to $700, and then a price corrected right afterwards. But if we go down to Destin's Rivals booster box, let's pull it open right now so we can give you the current prices as of today, which is October 7th, 2025. We're still at about $400. So we had that spike where it went up to about $445. Realistically, it has been about $400 since September 11th. So since about September 11th, there was a little spike, and now it's come back down. So basically, we're pretty much right where we were on September 11th and between 11th and the 14th. So, do you think that the Essence Rivals is going to definitely shoot up and go extremely high in the near future? No, because people are going to be very concerned about a reprint on this. Once again, reprint scares prevent people from wanting to spend big dollars on these sets. Same thing happened with Evolving Skies, right? When Evolving Skies was still in the reprint zone and we were locked down to where we were afraid of it, yes, it went to about $200, went from $100 and got up to about $200. Kind of sat up there, it shot to 280, and it kind of stalled for about another 6 months at 280. Once we got past the 2-year mark, that box has not really slowed down ever since. Yeah, as it gets more expensive, it gradually starts moving, but it's still moving in that upward direction and has continued to do it. All of Evolving Skies products. During the point of reprint, it does not move very much. You have time. You have enough time to wait and see if that reprint's going to happen. You've got enough time to wait to see if that opportunity is going to present itself. You don't need to spend the money right up front. You don't need to go right now and spend $400 on a Essence Rivals booster box, because the chances are is that it may go up to $500. So in the next 2 years or a year and a half, it goes up to $500. You could have used that money in other places, and possibly Essence Rivals is going to get a reprint of booster boxes. If it does, then the price is going to drop and you can buy more of them for cheaper. That's the way to look at it when it comes down to the set. So we have time. There's just not really a reason to potentially risk yourself. And the market is going to cap itself for a while with the fear. There's always that worry in the back of every investor, everybody that's holding product long term, in the first 2 years, that this could get a reprint. And a reprint is definitely going to slow down that market and prevent. It's going to create almost like a falsified cap. There's really no market cap that stops people from doing it. But people are going to be very hesitant to do it just because of the chance that, hey, if I pay $500 for this booster box right now and it gets a reprint and goes down to $300 or down to $250, I'm not even going to say go back to MSRP. It goes down to $250. Well, I could have bought 2 of them, and then I'm out the investment when it comes back to $500 in the next year. So there's always going to be that concern, and there's always going to be that little bit of doubt, which is going to keep investors from really taking off on things until the market really does get to the point where there's no reprints coming, or you feel secure with the fact that there'll be no reprints coming at that point in time. You can't say there'll never be reprints. We can never sit there and go, no, there'll never be a reprint in Pokemon TCG. They could go back and reprint anything at this point in time. They just don't. They don't go and do those kind of things. So you get that security at about 2 years. While they go out of rotate, while sets are going out of rotation, while sets are on their last years, you know that they're probably not going to go back and reprint base set Scarlet and Violet, because it's going out of rotation here in April. Why are we going to put more of that in there? And a lot of the cards, Boss's Orders, rare candies, all that stuff are in the newer sets. So why are we going back and reprinting base set? No reason. The Gardevoir line, probably going to take a hit and might be downsizing. Everybody's going to be shifting to Mega Gardevoir sets, and the Garni sets are going to change. Charizard set now with some of the new cards coming up is pretty hot. So this new Charizard, Mega Charizard sets are going to be the next thing. They're probably going to be rolling out. People building decks on those. They're going to be forgetting about Obsidian Flame, Paldea Evolved, and of course, base set when it get out of there. All right, so we're going to jump up to the top. We got Blitzkrieg in the house. Welcome on in. We got Jacob. Thank you so much for being in here as well. Eldaro, thank you so much for being in here as well. James from Alamo City, greatly appreciated. My mod is in the house. Welcome on in. Team Rocket Joey, thank you so much for being in here as well. And our Bendy is in here as well. Thank you so much. I'm going to go down right to the middle kind of end here. We got a couple other things. Brandon here as well. Thank you so much. Got a few members in here. Greatly appreciated for the membership. And once again, make sure if you are a member of YouTube, go to the Discord, join the Discord, and let me know that you're a member here. Give me your name on Discord that you are a member, because right now we are giving our members this month 15% off at NorthwoodsTCG.com on one order. So make sure you check that out. Take advantage of that as well if you are a member. Those are kind of some of the perks that we have for you. Periodically, we throw out some of the discounts and that kind of stuff for you guys to enjoy. Plus, if you do join us on our lives and you purchase a rip and ship, you guess the energy. We have 5 packs of Sword and Shield that you guess the energy right on your first order of the evening, on your first 1 pack of your first order of the evening, you get a free pack of cards, man, if you guess the energy right. Just a little bit of fun, a little bit of extra you get for being a member as well. So just I'm throwing out the member perks for you guys too, just so you guys can hear it and know that there are some perks that you do get for being here. Right now, if you do just join Discord, you get 10% off at NorthwoodsTCG.com. our members get an extra 5. So just a little bonus for you guys out there in the world. Going down here, we got Jacob. He says, at this point, I'm wondering if Pokemon wants this, especially since they haven't fixed their vending machines. That's always the question is does Pokemon... I don't think Pokemon wants this. This doesn't benefit Pokemon all that much. You got to remember, the fact of the matter, the only thing it really benefits Pokemon with is how fast it gets out of their warehouse, right? So instead of them sitting on product, which they never do, Pokemon really doesn't benefit from this in any way, shape, or form because they send it to distribution. So distribution gets their product right away. It's out of their warehouse. The only people that are benefiting from this is distribution at this point in time because they're not sitting on products in the warehouse. You're not having a year later being able to go back to the warehouse and go, hey, distribution, I want Obsidian Flames 6-pack booster bundles. I was buying those over a year after the release of Obsidian Flames. I was buying those a week before Surging Sparks was released. They still had Obsidian Flames 6-pack booster bundles available at our distribution. So booster boxes, Temporal Forces, Paradox Rift, Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, all of them were all available at our distribution all the way up until Twilight Masquerade. You could have bought every one of those booster boxes. The only thing that's changed is how quickly it gets out of distribution at this point in time. And Pokemon doesn't care. They don't want distribution mad sitting on like mountains of product. But Pokemon doesn't care if distribution sits on product a little bit. That's not their concern. So something is going on, and that's where we come down to what is going to be the major problem in the Pokemon Company International is something stopping them from printing large quantities. Something is bottlenecking their process to where they can't get it out. Either A, they're afraid that the markets are going to change, and so they don't want to flood the distribution with products because they know it could change at a moment's notice, number one. Or number two, they have no allocation for printers or they're missing material. Number three, if they might be missing materials to be able to do large scale productions of these products. That's really the 3 scenarios you're looking at that are bottlenecking Pokemon International Company. As for what's going on with these prices, this is all secondary market. Pokemon is taking no advantage of this whatsoever. They have no advantage to this at all. The only advantage they have is that their Pokemon Center also, they make more, they sell it at MSRP, so they're not like they're scalping prices, like there's a benefit for that either. So basically, they make more money on PokemonCenter.com, but realistically, a lot of their stuff goes up to distribution. They are probably selling more through PokemonCenter.com, but there's really no benefit to Pokemon unless they print more. The more they can get out, so for me as a business, if I'm sitting here looking at it in production businesses when we were doing it, when I was in manufacturing and that, we always tried to find, we always called it the gray area. So we never wanted to print in the white area because then you're short printing yourself and you're not giving enough product to the demand out there in the market. But you also didn't want to print in the black where you were printing way too much. You didn't want to print overage where you were sitting on a product for years without it going out the door. You wanted to find that nice sweet spot, that little gray area in the market on the charts where everything was just, there was a window and you wanted to stay in that window, right? Okay, we know that they order this much per month, every single month for the last 2 years. Let's go slightly above that. We will build an inventory, and worst case scenario is that we just don't print more later, or we don't produce 1 month. We start to reduce our number of prints that we do, or the number of production runs we do. Because, hey, we've got enough inventory, so we run for 8 months, and then the 9th month we don't run because we've already got a little bit built up. But we don't build extravagant amounts of product, but you also don't short yourself to the point where you're not able to fulfill the need of the customer, because the worst thing you can do is not fulfill the need of the customer, because then the customer goes elsewhere. And that's what we're seeing, right? The customers are going elsewhere. They're going to Final Fantasy, Magic, Final Fantasy. They're going to Lorcana. They're going to One Piece. They're going to all these different sets. They're leaving the Pokemon TCG because they want to open packs. They want to gamble. They want to have fun with their money, but they can't because of the fact that Gundam. They're going to these different TCGs and Dragon Ball Z. All these sets are doing well because there is a need for Pokemon packs, but Pokemon isn't meeting that need. So your customers are leaving. They're going other places, which is not what you want to see. As as a business and manufacturing, seeing your customers going and buying another product instead of yours because yours isn't available on the shelf is a kiss of death. I mean, eventually they will just go find something else and they won't come back, right? They're just going to, how many people do we see it on Discord? How many people do we see it on Shorts on TikTok? How many times do we see it now on Instagram Reels and all this other stuff where people are like, I'm done with Pokemon until they fix this. Or I'm just done with Pokemon. I'm done dealing with this. I'm done dealing with scalpers. I'm done dealing with all the problems. I'm not going to get involved anymore. I'm out. I'm done with this. This is not what I want to do. This is not fun. This is stressful. This is dumb. I can't get what I want. I don't open anything. I'm going to go do something else. That's a kiss of death for a company. And it's the problem is that Pokemon, we talked about it before, again and again and again. It's Pokemon's issue. Pokemon needs to make a solution for this, or they're going to continue to whittle down the amount of people. And it's not the older people. So someone like me and a lot of people in their 30s plus, we're probably going to continue to be here. If we were here through Sword and Shield, if we were here through early Scarlet and Violet, and we're still here today, the chances are is that most of us are just going to chill back, relax, and let things roll. If I don't get a product, if I don't get any Phantasmal Flames myself, it is what it is. I really don't care, right? I'll just go to the next set. Eventually, there'll be a set where there'll be way too much, and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to rip packs like nobody's business. I'm going to go back and rip packs like when I was 10 years old. Not going to care. But the younger people is the problem. People under the age of 30 are definitely in that zone where they'll just get bored and they'll leave. They'll go somewhere else. They're already on the 8-second train. Everything's got to be done in 8 seconds. You hear that one? I don't know if anybody knows that for marketing. So anybody in the ages in Gen Z or younger, so basically anybody born from 1995 on, has to have all the information and excitement in 8 seconds. If it takes longer than 8 seconds to present you, they scroll to the next thing. So if you're building shorts and you're building TikToks, you have 8 seconds to catch their attention. If you don't catch them in 8 seconds, they're gone. So you think that they're going to hang around in Pokemon when they can't get anything and they're trying to fight at the store? They're not. They're going to go and move on. They're going to move on to something else. So let's see here. We got a few other ones. So he says, talking about the Pokemon Company International does not benefit from the secondary market. Not at all. GameStop definitely. GameStop does benefit from this market, but they don't. Once again, Pokemon don't care about GameStop. Jacob, I'm curious to see what the new floor will be in 2 years. It'll be interesting to see. It's really going to come down to how Pokemon does things, if they start printing more, how the 30th anniversary rolls out. All this stuff is going to be big factors to what the floor is going to be in another 2 years. I think that a lot of this stuff is going to get locked down pretty good. I don't think we're going to have a problem. It's really going to come down to which set's going to get hit the hardest, or which set's going to, when are they going to massively reprint a set? That's when the market's going to change. When things are really, when people are going to get awakened to the fact that they could get blasted with product at any point in time. That's when we're going to see a change. That's when we're going to find out what this market's going to how this market's going to hold up. Brandon, I was told the Pokemon International was in contact helping with other TCGs printing their products. Don't know how true this is. We know that they're printing baseball cards, Brandon. We know that because of that misprint in Prismatic Evolutions. They were obviously printing baseball or football cards at that point in time. I think that during early Scarlet and Violet, they took on contracts. I think the Millennial Print Group had extra time to print, extra money that they wanted to make, printers sitting because there wasn't as much need for the Pokemon products as there was in Sword and Shield. So I think Pokemon took on contracts. The question is how long were those contracts? And how valuable are those contracts to Millennial Print Group for the Pokemon International Company? Are they willing to cancel those contracts, potentially lose that business in order to start printing more Pokemon cards? And I think that that's where there's that conundrum again of staying in that gray area. Do you want to potentially lose customers because you want to print more of your own product? But on the flip side of that, you get rid of those customers. How difficult is it to get them back futuristically when you have the printer space again? So do you want to expand the facility? Do you want to sit there and put more printers in now and try and print more product? Or do you want to just ride this out and see if the market continues? Or does it get to a point where it collapses? I think that there's a lot of questions in the Pokemon International, and I know that they have people that are a lot smarter and a lot more driven on how TCGs work than probably anybody in this chat right now, unless they work for Pokemon International. But I still think that it's really weird that they're leaving this much money on the table. They have to be seeing something that we're not, or B, they're planning something that we don't see at this point in time. There's only two things that are going to happen at this right now when it comes down to this market. FOMO, you're right. OP is booming right now. OP's doing good. Right now, the only thing that's really slacking really hard is the Spider-Man set, but Final Fantasy blowing up. I mean, I think a pack of Final Fantasy, Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, what did someone tell me? It was like $13 for those packs now. I'm just going to look, because once again, I want to give everybody the Final Fantasy Play Booster Packs. So Play Booster Packs with shipping, $11.50. $10 straight up, and then you got to pay shipping. So, I mean, for Magic the Gathering, that's a really high price for a play pack. And that's the playing packs. Some of the other packs, like the draft boosters, things like that, also do change in prices. So keep that in mind as well. Magic the Gathering is weird because there's different types of booster packs as well. There's draft boosters, play boosters. There's all kinds of different things. There's also a lot of collection stuff as well. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, One Piece is doing well. OP13, you can't even buy it at the store. It's completely sold out in the stores. You can't even get it. So that's definitely a thing. OP is doing well. Lorcana, Fable, gone. Everybody's moving over to Lorcana, Fable. Once again, you got a Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse chase in there, doing extremely well. There's a lot of things that are happening right now. Yeah, Final Fantasy, all about those, yeah. Chocobos, yep. The little birds, man. It's all about the birds. So let's see here. Brandon says, I was here through Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet had a tiny bit of hype, and then it died pretty fast. Scarlet and Violet base set didn't have a lot. 151 was really a catalyst for a little bit there, which caused a little bit of hype around it. Everybody was opening. But that really, like we talked about back then, and was one of my concerns. People were going to come in for 151, and they were going to stay with 151, and then leave when 151 was gone. And that is actually kind of what we saw. We did see a big insurgence of people on 151. A lot of OGs coming on in, enjoying 151. And then once 151 was pretty much hard to find, or went up $10, $12 a pack, they all kind of left again. So, and then it took Surging Sparks, people talking about short printing, to spark that market. It was moving up through Twilight Masquerade. Stellar Crown had a little bit of a bite because of the Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Surging Sparks, everybody started yelling short print. Didn't exist, but people started yelling it on TikTok, and the influencers started going. They're running that machine, baby. We got to start pushing that machine and just get that thing running, get the machine going. Once they got that train going, though, boys and girls, and then people got announcements of Prismatic right as that was happening, and it was like the rockets hit when they heard Prismatic. So Surging Sparks was coming, short printed, so everybody freaked out on that. And then they found out 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before Prismatic or Surging Sparks hit the ground, the Prismatic was right behind it. The Evolution set was the next specialty set. It's like everybody hit the thrusters, and them thrusters have not shut off yet. So when will they die? That's going to be the real question at this point in time. So let's see here. Brandon says, my gut feeling is that the Pokemon Company International has been heavily printing and will dump it all on us some point. I could be wrong, but their silence on the matter makes me feel different. It's weird the amount that they are. Well, they said, well, then they said they're going to print more, and then they don't really print more. So it's kind of interesting. You're right. They're up to something. It's just a matter of what. I think Pokemon International is definitely thinking this out. It's not something that they're not planning out. They've got a plan, or at least I hope. A company that big has got to be looking at this. There's no way that they're sitting there and just turning a blind eye to this current market. They are going to do something at some point. It's just a matter of what and when, and what will it do to the market when it happens. The holidays are coming. Get Blitzkrieg's right on right now what he just said. Holidays are right around the corner. When the holidays hit too, we'll be getting specialty boxes. We're getting 2 UPCs. They're getting Prismatic figurine box. I mean, we're getting a ton of stuff coming here for the holiday season. Plus, we have all this stuff coming in all at one time. So that's definitely a thing to be considering as well, is that we have a lot of stuff coming for the holiday season, a lot of packs coming, a lot of different products coming. 2 UPCs. We got the Moltres and the Charizard one hitting the ground all at once. Plus we got Phantasmal Flames coming. I mean, Black Friday, I think Blitzkrieg's absolutely right. Black Friday is going to be wild. I think we're going to be seeing, well, it's not really Black Friday any longer. I think that Black November is going to be wild. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of announcements coming up in the next couple weeks for what's going to happen at this point in time. Let's see. Jacob says scalping Pokemon cards is even a problem in China right now. They're not printing enough, and I don't know why. You know, it's a problem everywhere. Blackout November. Yeah, exactly. Brandon just said here, Pokepalmer said they're not going to get anything for the holidays. I don't know why you would say that either. They always do something for the holidays. It's just a matter of what. So they'll do some kind of specialty box for the holidays. I can guarantee the Walmart will get some kind of specialty box. I don't know why he would think that. We'll probably be getting announcements for that. Typically right around the end, last week in October, we'll be getting all last 10 days in October, typically going into November. We'll start getting that to November 1st, because Black Friday sales start happening at Walmart like 2 weeks before Black Friday. So it's going to take some time. We'll find out here at the end of the month here what we'll be looking at for specialty boxes. But I can guarantee you we're going to be getting specialty boxes. We're going to be getting something on all these things. Jacob says, Plumber being a goof these days. Yeah, that's just weird. I mean, I just don't see that. 7 likes and 22 in the chat. Smash that like button. Yes, guys. Thank you, James from Alamo City. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It definitely does help and really does drive the overall analytics. So make sure you guys hit that like button, guys. Thank you so much for seeing the likes. Drive this thing up a little bit. Let's get some views out there. Get some movement on the channel. Like I said, we're trying to still get 3,000 or 5,000 here, hopefully by the end of the year. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're here. Let's see if we can keep booming this thing up, and also share the videos, share the streams, share the lives. Great way to help out. Hitting that like if it's just watching 10, 15 minutes of the live or something like that around there, and then hitting the like button on it helps out a ton. So make sure you do that as well. Blitzkrieg, I thought he said we will get flooded, and it's better sell at the high market to have money to buy if the market stiffs. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, I was just laughing because I was talking to my wife. I don't think this part of the shelf has been open, like even all the way down to my binders here. My binders moved here because it was open. I have not had this section of my shelf open in probably 3 years or 2 years. Since I had the old plastic shelf here, now this shelf, I have never had this open to where I can reach everything, and there's nothing except for Campbell's soup, Chinese booster box, some Yu-Gi-Oh sitting here, or if you want Yu-Gi-Oh, I got some of that hanging around, and a couple sleeve blisters or blister packs are hanging around. So I just don't, I'm not getting the product to replenish, and I'm selling out a lot of stuff too for my investment side as well. I'm trying to stash some cash because things are really, really going to, if things break, there's going to be a lot of deals. There's going to be a lot of panic selling. People don't have the discipline to hang. They don't have the discipline to stay. We've seen it in Sword and Shield when we got those massive reprints and the market dumped at the end of 2021, right at the release of Celebrations. The market tanked. The prices went down. Booster boxes went back down to $80 a booster box. We were buying, Chilling Reign at $80. You were buying Battle Styles at $75 and $72. You were buying Fusion Strike at $90. Even Evolving Skies was under sub 100 at one point there during that mass deal. People don't have the ability to have the discipline to stick it out and understand that the markets do come back. It takes time. And discipline is definitely an important factor that people need to take into consideration. Be disciplined about it, but be smart about it as well. If you think that there's going to be, if the markets are completely tanking, get out, right? Don't hang on to it. But here, Sword and Shield, a lot of this products I am slowly getting rid of. I'm telling you that right now. You can see my shelves emptying out. I'm keeping like a couple products of some of the things because they're really, really nice items. I like them. So, you know, the UPCs here. I'm trying to collect all the UPCs. So I'm keeping one of those. I've got one of those. I've got one of the Terapagos, and I got two of the Greninja ones. I'm probably going to sell two of the Greninja ones. I'm starting to list the Charizard UPCs. I'm starting to move them out as well. So we're starting to move some of these products out because I just absolutely think that there's going to be a point where people are going to panic sell. And there's going to be a great opportunity to take that cash and turn it into something that's has more opportunity to it than what we currently have in the storage. Let's see here. Didn't they say $89 Paldean Fates UPCs? What? PF. Paldean Fates? Paldean Fates didn't have. What's PF? Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah, I was thinking Paldean Fates. Sorry about that. My brain completely locked out on that. Yeah, Phantasmal Flames. I don't think you're 89. I'm sure that they will because they could, just because there's so many of them. What are they at right now on TCG Player? Charizard X Ultra Premium, Mega Charizard X Ultra Premium Collection. So, yeah, right. Well, there you go. $380 right now. You can pre-order it right now for $380 on TCG Player. So, we talked about this with Team Rocket Joey. 3 million projected to be printed compared to the Charizard UPC. Now, remember, everybody thought that the Charizard UPC, so this one right down here, you gotta remember, this one here was printed to oblivion. This would be an absolute worthless UPC because there was so many of them during the holiday seasons that you would never get rid of this, that this would have no value. You shouldn't have bought this at $70 because it was an absolute waste of money to do so. $70, and this was a waste of money when they printed this. Do you know how many of these they printed? There's actually a number out there for how many of these boxes they printed. How many do you think it was? I know we said it in the one live, so if you were doing your homework and actually paying attention in class, you know this answer. But without Googling it, how many of these do you think they actually printed? Give me one. You don't need it. Give me one. I actually gave one away. 1 million, 5 million. So we got some numbers. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 100,000. So we got Sleeping Snorlax. Thank you so much for jumping in as well. Yeah, put it in the chat. How many do you think that they print? If you had to guess how many they printed this, we actually know what they put out there is actually what they actually printed. So we got 1.5 million. You got 4 million. So remember, we got 3 million of the new ones coming out. That's what they have come out and said, that there will be approximately 3 million of that Charizard X UPC. So 300. Yeah, 300 of them. 750K to 1 million. Between 1.5 and 2 million. So the number is that they said the print rate of this particular box was 1.9 million. So 1.9 million of those made it a worthless box, and it was a $70 box, and nobody wanted to buy it at $70. But yet the Charizard X UPC that's coming out here in November got a total of 3 million. So it got more, almost double, 1.1 million more of those. But yet it's got more value and going to be an awesome collection that you're going to pay $380 right now for it on TCG Player. Yeah. That's the way how crazy this market is right now, boys and girls. Sleeping Snorlax, I purchased that box at 90. I considered that a W. If you were following me back then, and I know a lot of new people have not, we actually gave coupons to some places that were actually put in the description. You could get those for like $65 with using the coupons for like bookshelf.com and some weird sites. But yeah, they were dirt cheap. I paid $130 for mine on Pokemon Center. Make it make sense. Yeah, I mean, there was so many of these that we were buying these. I got like 4 or 5 cases of those right now. I'm starting to sell right now. But But yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, it was just crazy that was a worthless box at 1.9 million. But that's the difference in the market as well. That's how many people are driving this thing right now, is that something that was 1.9 million, and it's got Evolving Skies in it. I mean, this box has Evolving Skies in it. So, and it's Sword and Shield products and Fusion Strike. There's like, what, 3 Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, there's Lost Origin in it, Brilliant Stars. I mean, there's a couple Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage in it, but realistically, they're all a lot of the hot sets from the Sword and Shield era, and this thing was a $70 box. And it was sitting at $70 to $80 for a long period of time. And you could get it sub 70 if you could find some coupons to take some discounts at some of the sites, because people are trying to get rid of them. It doesn't make sense. You know, if you look at the overall market right now, yes, there's a lot of people in this market, but what is the difference between these two boxes right now? It really drives the prices. I know this one, the Charizard UPC, is going to have the mega sets and all that other stuff inside of it, which are definitely going to be, you know, value. It's got the cool, I actually want the playmat, so I'm actually kind of waiting for people to rip this bad boy open, and hopefully I can get a really nice playmat without having to open my own, because I know that they'll be putting them on eBay. How much they'll charge for is really going to be the question. I'm hoping to get them like the Marnie and all those other ones, like $3-4 a piece. That'd be great. Sleeping Snorlax. I heard someone say, forget the past and focus on right now, because it doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. It doesn't. That's the truth right there. This market doesn't make sense, right? It's weird. And the problem is that it's getting really inflated, which really makes me concerned overall for what may happen if something changes. If they print one set to oblivion, where people no longer have their nice, comfortable sleeping blanket that they cover themselves in, that makes them think that they're never going to reprint stuff. That's the real thing that may really cause this market to fall. People think that it's going to be safe. People think that it's going to be secure, that it's a nice, happy situation that never is going to change, and that if I buy something, a booster box, it's never going to get reprinted. All it's going to take is one set, one major shift in the Pokemon TCG, and that illusion blows up. And once that illusion blows up, it's really going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in these markets. What's going to happen to the Charizard X UPC if it happens on Phantasmal Flames? Let's just say that they don't say it, and they're giving us low allocations first, and then a month later they absolutely obliterate, go back to what they did in 2021 and just absolutely douse the market in product. What's going to happen to the illusion that people have that these things are never getting reprints, and that if I buy them at $300, $400, that price is going to hold and be valuable and going to go up from there in another year or two? That's going to be the really interesting thing to see what's going to happen, and it's going to be really interesting to see if it happens in this market. That's what I'm really waiting for, is that one of these sets to get absolutely decimated, and when that happens, it's really going to give you a picture for how strong this market really is at that point. Right now, it's a lot of falsification right now. There's a lot of people that are just in it as long as there's a big dollar amount on everything. The second that the market changes, where we get a massive reprint, you'll find out how strong the Pokemon market really is, and how much damage was done to this market as well. That's when you'll find out how much damage was done as well. So when this shifts, when we see a set that gets massively reprinted to the ground, or gets multiple reprints of it, of a main box set, not Paldean Fates, not 151, not Prismatic Evolutions, a main box set, if we see one get just absolutely decimated, where the illusion is broken and that bubble around people that they think everything is fantastic goes away, and that their safety net is gone, that is when we're really going to see what's going to happen in this market. So I'm really curious to see what it's going to do, how it's going to hold up, and how much damage was done. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and catch up with some of the things. I have as much DR packs as it's so dumb. 2? You got 2? And Pokepalmer is buying 12 cases of DR at $350. Right now it would work. $350, depending on how long, if he's planning on holding it long term, may not matter. Even short term, if he's trying to do a short term flip. I mean, right now you could buy them at $350. You turn and burn it on sites that you may be on. You could make a quick $50 on each one of those boxes. So yeah, it's there 350. If I was looking for a short flip, I'd probably shoot for 325. But 350, as long as they don't say a massive reprint is coming, or don't say booster box reprints, then we're going to be able to see. You'll see that go up probably up to about 450 here within the next couple months, and you'll make a quick 50 to 80 bucks a box. I mean, if you're looking for some money to make, it's definitely possible with that pricing. Sleeping Snorlax says, the most confusing part is there is no catalyst right now. 2020, 2021. We had Logan and the shutdown. Right now there isn't anything but buyouts. We talked about that with Team Rocket Joy. What is the catalyst that's occurring right now? I mean, before we always in 2020 and 2021 we blamed it on stimmy money. People had stimulus money, so people were buying Pokemon products with their stimulus money because they were stuck at home, and there was this whole chain of arguments of why it was occurring. But I think the other factor is since 2020. So here's how I kind of broke this down. I was talking to a couple friends when we were playing this weekend, and we kind of talked about it. What was the chain events that happened this time? Because, Pokemon in 2016, you can go back to Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go was the catalyst in 2016. So what caused that. Pokemon Go boom caused 2016 to happen. Logan Paul boom was just a catalyst that pushed it. Stimmy money. Logan Paul, an influencer pushing it. And I think the biggest problem is, the biggest thing that's changed from then to now is the amount of people watching influencers. The amount of people watching channels on YouTube. And I'm not going to say their names. There's a lot of channels out there that are high energy, high risk, high reward type channels that people are watching. And when those channels say something, the market shifts that direction. We have seen even Opossum Bud has done it on accident. We have seen Danny Phantom do it on accident. We have seen Twice Baked Jake do it on accident, where they say something and it shifts the market and it starts getting the ball moving that direction. We see waifu cards jumped because Twice Baked Jake talked about it. I don't remember, Opossum Bud did one and he discussed it, and all of a sudden it went up in value. We've seen Danny Phantom discuss a card on how, it's a very good card and overall it's going to do really well, and all of a sudden there's a market spike. Now, Surging Sparks, what really, 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 in my opinion, broke that free is that it seemed like a group of influencers with larger channels, with lots of people that are in the investment side of things, all said the right things at the right time to push this thing off. And I think it came down to Surging Sparks and them saying short print on Surging Sparks. And it wouldn't have worked. If they would have just said short print on Surging Sparks, it wouldn't have been enough. By itself, that event alone would not have done it. Once again, you look at these Black Swan events, and you start breaking down why it's doing what it's doing. Saying Surging Sparks was short printed would not have worked by itself, because people would have seen it, gone, okay, it would have hit a lot in the market, and it would have fizzled. The thing is that you had was that they put it 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior, 2.5 weeks prior to the release of Surging Sparks. They started screaming short print on Surging Sparks. Got the market energized. Short print set. Potential for some really good value. We're going to be able to buy these. And it sold out on distribution. Everything started shifting then. Right then, 2 weeks before that, we got the Prismatic Evolutions releasing the information. When that happened, everybody went Evolving Skies 2.0 on top of a short print set. Evolving Skies 2.0. Boom. It was like fire. Everything went. Everything started to go. And all the investment bros came flying back into this hobby. Everybody came diving into this at 100 miles per hour. And everybody started buying in and investing and putting stuff away and building nest eggs and started manipulating this market. Distributors started, they added a bunch of people too, which is another thing that we talked about before, and it's been talked about again. Distributor added a lot of people onto distribution through the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, because there's product that just wasn't moving. It wasn't going. And there was a certain group of people that also gave an opportunity to do that. So you had a lot more people in the distribution side pulling product as well. And so when sets got hot and hard to get, they started ordering heavy too. So then distribution got drawn out, but those are also the people that are paying or charging top dollar for those products. And it also causes that. So you had like 3 different events all coming together right at the right point. And the other factor is that inflation has occurred as well, where people aren't traveling. People don't have money to go on vacations. People can't afford gas, can't afford vehicle maintenance, can't afford to take long trips and vacations to Disneyland, because it's what, $2,000 a person right now to go to Disneyland. For $2,000 a person, I've got 10 people in my house. It's a $10,000 trip. I can buy a hell of a lot of Pokemon cards and have a hell of a lot of fun at home and still be way below $10,000. So there is a lot of things that are going on. And then on top of it, you got to look at reciprocating cycles as well. There's always reciprocating cycles in the market where people lose interest and come back. So I think it was just a perfect storm. You had like 3 or 4 things all coming together in this Black Swan event again. You can't predict them all happening at once, and they did. And it just is like adding fuel. It's like putting napalm on fire, and it's done. I mean, now it's a matter of when does it burn out. When it burns out, that's when we're going to see things change. And like I said, it's going to take Pokemon doing something pretty crazy in order to really cause that to actually, they're going to have to douse those waters, what they're going to have to do. So let's see here. We're going to go back up a little bit here. Oh, let's see. When Grandma is scalping, you know it's a bubble. Exactly. You're right. But it got here based on what? Yeah, I kind of just I already went over that. The speculation of making more money from investing. And that's a big part of it too. Like I said, there's a lot of... The short print got investors interested, and then prismatic evolutions right after it really fed into that. That's why those investors will not let... You will not... I don't think in any way, shape, or form you're going to see... I don't think you're ever going to see prismatic drop below $95. If we got another massive reprint, the investment bros are going to eat that up as fast as it comes out. And I think Pokemon can... They have printed so much prismatic evolution that there is actually, honestly, no reason that ETB is, what, $140 again, I think I saw? Let me pull it open, because that way I can give you the right. So, prismatic evolutions. Why isn't that showing up? Elite Trainer Box. So where are they now? Yeah, $140. $139 right now is the cheapest one that you can get at this point in time. There's no reason for the amount of product that we've gotten on that one either. But the problem is that it's artificially priced. It's getting... People are buying it no matter what. At this point in time, they're committed to buying it. And if they're committed to buying it, investors are committed on this set. They cannot let this drop. They will continue to buy this. If there is any of them that drop below $100, I think that they'll always be scooped up. This ETB will not drop below $100. If it does, they're just going to scoop it up again. And they're going to keep manipulating that price. They're going to keep manipulating that up. And they're going to keep that value up there where at least they know that they're secured in their position. And that's the thing is, if you have money in Pokemon, and it doesn't take a lot of money, a few people in investment can hold up a market price. They can artificially hold that price and create a floor just because they're willing to continue to put money back into it. So if they're willing to keep putting money into prismatic evolutions, if Pokemon continues to keep printing prismatic evolutions, it's not going to ever go down in price. It's going to always have a false floor. Now, what could really screw investors is, and this is where my theory comes in, is that they don't have... If I was Pokemon right now, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd stop printing prismatic evolutions. Just give up on it, right? It's a dead horse. It's a dead horse that you're never going to win that fight. They need to stop printing prismatic, and they need to pick a set like Destin's Rivals. They need to pick a set like Phantasmal Flames. One of these full box sets with a lot of drive behind it. And they need to mass print it. And when I say mass print it, Battle Style's that bad boy. Print to order. Any order that a distribution has gotten, print it plus 25%. Absolutely decimate it. You do that to Destin's Rivals, or you do that to Phantasmal Forces at this point in time, you will absolutely crack this market. You would absolutely sledgehammer this market. That's all it's going to take. Destin's Rivals, Phantasmal Forces, you would crack this shell wide open. Hey, Pika Pika. Pokenufo exclusive. Welcome on in. Pump and dump Bitcoin, boys. There's massive amounts of influencers and big money pushing the prices upwards. The speculating side of the hobby has gone crazy. Yep, it has. Arbendi, when you see on social media saying you can make X amount of money from something with relatively low MSRP, you get people out of the hobby to hop in. Yep, and that's exactly what we've had. I mean, the market has been very, very It's very, very influential at this point in time. It's easily influenced, and what's going on right now currently in the market. So it doesn't take much to influence this market and push it just a little bit further and push it a little bit faster now. One massive reprint would completely destroy this when it comes down to that. I did miss one from Pokenufo exclusive up here, and I wanted to go back to it because we were on our little rant here. Pokenufo exclusive is: do you think the McDonald's Pikachu graded gem mints or BGS 10s will hit Van Gogh Pikachu PSA prices nice? It depends on how many they do print. They said they were going to do a massive reprint of those again in Japanese. I think that definitely could be a big part of that, making that decision. How much they print is definitely going to be the deciding part of that one. Pokenufo exclusive. Let's see here. Just going through. Yep, I think you're absolutely right, though, Arbendi. I think you're right on it. Sleeping Snorlax says, understand, though, guys, my firm belief is that even when it pops, that is when people make the most. They can. I mean, that's where a lot of us are actually, many of us are all backing up our coffers right now because there is a great opportunity at that point to make a lot of money. You can make as much money on a falling market as you can on a gaining market, just depending on when you buy in, right? I can make, if everybody panic sells, and let's just say Mega Evolutions booster boxes go all the way down to $100. Is it going to stay $100? Nothing in Pokemon has stayed down that low, right? We can't go back in history of the Pokemon TCG 5 years after a set's released and find booster boxes at $100. You know, they even if they go from $100 and in 3 years they're going up to 40, 140, 150, 160. Some people would sit there and go in this market say that's worthless. I mean, you're not making any money. But if you look at it compared to a traditional investment, like any of my portfolios right now for what I would call traditional investments, IRAs, stock markets, anything like that, you're still having a 40, 60, 80% market gain in 4 or 5 years' time. None of my investments can keep up with it. I shouldn't say any of them. My high-risk crypto ones could, there are specific, if you really niche down, but normally my IRA does not keep up with that. My Roth IRA does not keep up with that. It's about 12 to 18% per year. So, it's going to be about 30% to 35%, while if it goes up to $140 to $180, that's still outperforming my IRA. Pokemon has consistently done that. Now, am I saying dump your IRA and buy Pokemon? No, I'll put that disclaimer in here right now. Don't sell out your IRA to try and go buy Pokemon because it outperforms. Because at any time, this is a hobby and it could die, and then you're out your money. IRAs are smooth, traditional, long-lasting investments, and we know that they're secure. I would keep, I keep both. I keep an IRA. I will continue to max out my owner contribution into my IRA. That's just the way that I will always do my business. Let's see here. Brandon says, I don't like the spoinks part of the hobby. So I feel you. It's honestly what's going on. It is. I don't like it either, man, but it's been happening since base set, but we were kids not seeing it. It's always happened. It's continually happened. It happens not just in Pokemon, it happens in most reciprocating markets. And you buy on the bottom, you sit there and buy the troughs and you can do really well futuristically. You just gotta have patience. Pokenufo exclusive says, Brandon, I was 12 when I was collecting first edition base set. Yeah, you must be about the same age as me then, Brandon. I think I was 12 when base set came out. Looking new fall exclusive. Catalyst. Low inventory. YouTubers and scalpers. The perfect variables. Yep. I wouldn't even say low inventory. Inventory was good. We had plenty of inventory up until they said that. The problem is that Pokemon just hasn't increased its inventory to try and match what the influencers keep pushing. That figurine collection, eaten up. Yeah, that's gone. Artificial prices. Brandon says, completely manipulated because the big buyers don't want to see it drop. Yeah, it's talking about the Prismatic Evolutions ETB. It's not. Prismatic Evolutions have got floors, and investors will buy it up as fast as it comes out of there. Brandon, all the real big money is in DR and Prismatic. And we got R. Bendy says, some good news. I opened Prismatic for the first time the other day and got a Flareon SIR. So I'll take a little win with my 1 to 2 order limit. Well, that's always fantastic to get. The card I've been chasing the English version. I've got the Japanese version of it, but I don't have the English. Looking real quick. Should probably put this down here so I can display it, right? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put it? This one. So, oh, I know where it's at. It's not here, and it's in my Pokeball holder. I don't want to pull it out of there. Just looking to see. I think it's actually upstairs in my other office. Yeah, it is. I put it on my display for my other office, but I got the Japanese version of it. I'm happy with it. I just haven't been willing to pay the inflated English market price for the same artwork. Japanese lettering on it doesn't scare me. Jacob says, I had a collector book as a kid and had prices for base set and the Neo cards. LOL. See, you were investing away back in the day. I was holding booster boxes for a long time. I've said that. I mean, up until 2006, I sold all of my booster boxes in 2006 because I was just getting out. I mean, I've said it. When I'm in something, I'm in it. I mean, if I'm going in, it's all in. I don't sit there and dip my toes in and hope for the best. I jump in with both feet and hope for the best. So it is what it is, and that's why when I was there, I tried to get out. Just decided it was better to sell everything, get out, and move on with other things. So, but yeah, just an update too before everybody leaves. I see there's still a few people out there. Make sure you hit the like button if you're still in here. I was selling lemonade Pokemon cards. Nice. Before everybody kicks out here for the evening, once again, if you guys are going, let me know in the comments afterwards or in the chat who's all going to Chicago Collecticon. That'll be here on Saturday, Sunday here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming up here this weekend. I will be down there. Make sure you hit me up on Discord and let me know if you're going to be there. Also follow on Discord too, because we are going to make sure that we... So basically we're going to make sure that if you're down there, I want to try and get together with some of the people that we know from the channel. So if you are going to be in Chicago, let me know. Follow the Discord again for that as well, because I will be posting where we'll be or where I'll be. And that way maybe we can kind of meet up with some of the people on Northwoods TCG, just so I can meet you guys. I mean, I've been a lot on videos. I've been to some Collecticons, but I've been bad at trying to do a formal, like, here's where I'm at type deal, and I want to do that. Be safe. Chicago going to be a wild this weekend. It's going to be fun. Definitely trying to hook up with some people as well, trying to make some time, making sure to see who's all there. I hit up with Mason too. I asked him if he was going to be at Chicago, and he wasn't sure now that he's doing the streaming and running the store full time. So if he is, I'm hoping to catch Mason as well in person. I haven't seen him for over a year, so it'd be nice to catch up with Mason. Hoping some other people are down there too, some content creators and stuff, some other individuals that we do stuff with in the hobby. So hopefully it'd be fun. I'm in the Florida area. If I lived out that way, I would definitely go. Yeah, Chicago's a nice one for me because it's right in driving distance and I can go there without like planning a big trip to do it. So it's kind of nice that that one's really close by. And so we'll be going down there. So we'll be heading down to Chicago just because it's only 5.5 hours for me to drive there compared to like next year. I think we want to go back to North Carolina. I met Mason at Market Scraper. I met Mason at Card Party this weekend. No rip tonight. Rips are on Thursday and Sunday. Tonight's just market talk and what's happening in the Pokemon TCG. So tonight's just our talk night, going over investment, talking about the markets and all that fun stuff. So we'll be doing rip and ships on Thursday, and then Thursday 9 p.m. and Sunday at 9 p.m. I shouldn't be off on my rip schedule, because we're leaving Friday afternoon about noon to head down to Chicago, and we'll be back Sunday early afternoon. So we should be live, or shouldn't affect our rip and ships here this week at all either. So if you guys want to join us, hit the Discord. Like I said, there's 10% off if you aren't a TC or a Northwoods TCG YouTube member. There's 10% off right now for any products at. That's how I'm kind of dropping the prices for you guys, is that go ahead, use that on Mega Evolutions. We still have some of that available. We have some Unova mini tins, all that kind of stuff. Check that out. Take advantage of that for you guys, or anybody that's watching the channel. And then also, if you become a channel member, so like Brandon, Market Scraper, Jacob, if you guys let me know in Discord your names, your YouTube names, I'll make sure to give you access to the YouTube members part of Discord. And then you can sit there and get 15% off right now just for being a Northwoods TCG member. So, again, take advantage of the discounts. I throw them out for our members, give them a little bit bigger discounts sometimes for that as well. Mason's a great guy. Like I said, I'd like to see if he's in Chicago. He was there last year. I think he was there this spring too, but I know his dynamics changed a little bit too with his rip and ship service, or doing his rip and ships, and also him taking over full ownership of the store as well. Kind of changed his dynamic a little bit when it came down to that. So, okay, Ludwig pick. Okay, I'll make sure I'll add you in there as well into the membership. So I'll find you. I'll get you added in here. So I got to go into my members list here, and then I will find you and put that in there. So yeah, and like I said, you can use that one time this month, once per month, or one time this month. You get that discount. So it's just a little bonus for you guys. Plus, like I said, you join us for the rip and ship. Do get the energy, have some fun as well on that. Otherwise, guys, it's almost 10:30. We went way over time tonight. Thank you guys, everybody, for the chats. Greatly appreciated for you guys joining in and being here tonight. Always make sure you hit that like button before you leave. It's greatly appreciated. It helps out the stream a lot. You guys I don't think a lot of people realize how much that like button is fantastic for us to really help out the channel. So we got 19 people in here. Been over 100 people in the live tonight, and we only got 12 likes. So make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. It helps out a ton on that point as well. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week if you don't come back. Otherwise, come join us on Tuesday or Thursday night, 9 p.m. We do rip and ships, but if you want to just sit down and talk about Pokemon and what's happening in the Pokemon TCG, make sure you do that. Come and join us. Have some chats. We like to enjoy. We have some good conversations. Have some fun, chasing some cards, getting some hits, and enjoying the evening. So make sure you come join us for that as well. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. We will see you next time here